afternoon, everybody. This is Stock Holiday doing the Nasdaq Recap, June 6th. Always an interesting day. So let's just check in. You know, when we're taking trades on a day, it's always good to avoid those first 45 minutes. So I'll just kind of click play here and see if we can learn anything from these first 45 minutes. Also, just remember, as we're looking for trades in a day, this first one, we're looking for a trend break. As far as an A+ setup, in my mind, we're looking for that opening range breakout. The previous day's high is right here. Previous day close is this yellow line down here. And those will actually come into focus later on in our trading today. So I'm also going to turn on the PSAR. That is always a helpful one for me to see how things might be working. So parabolic stop and reverse. And you can see this right here at 9 o'clock. It's saying, okay, calls are in order. 9 o'clock, you know, that's a half hour into open. I would take everything with a grain of salt at that point of day because you just never know how things are going to go. When I was looking at this morning, I did start looking at that and saying, okay, I'm going to check in on some calls. And I was starting to wonder, are we seeing one of my favorite moves, which is a ascending triangle? And so I started drawing this in here. Now, ascending triangles do not always break out to the upside. Triangles are just that. They're going to break down or they're going to break out. Triangles do usually continue the trend. So this is all looking very bullish as we're going here. And so you want to just redraw your lines to kind of see, are you checking in on the wicks? And it basically is the dip being bought. And right here, I was just kind of checking in, is there a line that's going to define all of these wicks? And this one right here said, well, danger, if you're not out by now, make sure you're getting out. And I was definitely out at that point. That was a 15% loss on my point. Maybe it was a bad trade, but you know what? Make sure you get out when there's a bad trade along the way. So at this point here, you're going to see it's actually testing the 20 EMA. And we always want to check in on our fib levels. So I'm actually going to draw those right now. Okay, so we've got retracement levels here just to kind of get an idea of what kind of a move we're going on here. And you can see we've got a downtrend. 4 out of the last 5 candles have been red. And so at this point in time, if it's going to get down below this 20 EMA, I'm definitely watching that. But I'm also watching the previous day's high if it's going to break below that. So let's just take a look here and see what's going to happen. Yes. So having a stop buy under the 20 EMA, you can see this wick right here. Having a stop buy under that is awesome, actually, because you're not in the trade unless it breaks down. And then Thinkorswim will automatically put you into that position. So this happens a lot faster here on TradingView because these candles happen pretty quick. So this one here, this was, if I'm looking at this correctly, these puts we're at 40 cents at this time. And so you could have gotten in at that point with your stop buy. And we'll just keep watching this as this goes. Okay, so you can see this thing moved down and hit that golden ratio right there, and it bounced up right away. And so we'll just let this play out a little bit. This was a fascinating move to me. This is coming down on our day. It now has flown through the low of the day so far, and you can just see waterfall. Once this broke down, once this started showing weakness, and it really showed it right there for sure. Once that started showing weakness and it just started waterfalling all the way under this. Now this is a point where I'm saying, okay, it's beyond a retracement level. And so what I do at this point is I try to figure out how far will this move extend? So what I do is I use an inverted fib extension to try to figure out how far will the move actually extend. Okay. So I know that might be some stranger terminology for a lot of us, that fib extension you usually see as a move to the upside. But I've been back testing this, so let's put this to the test here in this video as well. A couple things to notice: the 8 crossed down underneath the 20. So we've got a PSAR switch, we've got a trend break, we went under the 20 EMA, under VWAP, under the low of the day. This is all bearish move. And this, I love when these clouds cross. That really helps me with the sentiment and how things are going. Now you'll see it's going to come at a certain point in time here. It's going to find some support. And I love that because it found support really right at this fib extension to the downside at this 23.6 fib. And so I called this out on Twitter, and I put this out there of, I said a potential bear flag is starting to form here. And so when you've got your move down, and then you've got a consolidation here, a lot of times the consolidation will move up before it comes back down. Let's just see if this honors this channel, because maybe you missed this move and you're trying to figure out, well, I don't want to chase right now. The way that would look is you're watching this channel, you want to see resistance, you want to see support, and then you would actually have your stop buy underneath the channel. So I'll hover my cursor right there as far as where I'm still in it at this point. I scaled out and I saw this as a bear flag, but somebody could get in. Yep, right there. So my buy was underneath that trend break here, and you can just see beautiful bear flag, just beautiful. Okay. Now this yellow line right here is the previous day's close, and you can see it's now testing out that 61.8 fib on this extension. And so really, let's see the full extent of this move. And this was, if I remember this right, this ended up being, from beginning to end, this was a 587% move. Just watch this, look at this. These lines were drawn over an hour prior to this, and it tapped here, bounced a little bit, tapped here, bounced right here. It's just amazing. All right, I'm just amazed how that works. And you know, it's bouncing right here at that previous day's close. And then these are the fib extensions that I was drawing on there as well. Because you're trying to figure out how far is this move going to actually go and when can you get out. It's just fascinating how these lines are actually honored. So let's just see if this actually has a further move down. Okay, right there, it tapped this fib. I love it. I remember, I know this is gonna sound strange. I sold right here. I know that sounds strange, but I've trusted these extensions so much that I was getting out right there. I did not know a hammer candle was gonna form. But this is about as beautiful as a hammer candle as you're gonna see. And so that doesn't mean you're gonna jump in right away and buy the reversal, but I'm scaling in at this point. The PSAR has not switched yet, now it did, but that hammer candle is followed by 3 more right here of buying candles, and you gotta wonder, is the low of the day in yet? So at the very least, make sure you're out on your puts at this point. Make sure you're out on your puts. And then you want to try to find out, is there some kind of a trend line that's forming here for these actual calls to be in play? And so it's going to come back and it's going to test some areas. But if that's the area that it's going to test right here, I want to mark that. I want to look at the bottom wick here. I want to look at the bottom wick here. And at this point, I was starting to see there's a trend line coming in, and so I was they were 30 cents at this time, so I was getting my average built up in here. I even bought a couple at 22 cents if I remember that correctly. But you can see a trend line is forming. It's not fun to watch because you can just see like the sentiment on the day is just bearish, and you're thinking, what am I doing? But when things like this break down, I'm scaling in. I'm scaling in. Could this break down further? Yes, but risk reward says I'm not buying puts at this point in the day. So now I'm wondering, is this our trend line? It's an art sometimes and a science as well. And so you can see right here, there's a trend line forming, and you can see buyers are in the tape. Buyers are in this for sure. And so now we're starting to see this could be a ascending triangle right here. And if it does break this level right here, I'm selling right there. I'm selling at that 309, which was prior support. So we're watching this. We're trying to get a good average in here. You can see it's trying to bust through there for sure. And this is looking strong. On here, this move happened pretty fast. But this was a painful hour to try to figure out, am I in the right move? And this ended up, when you zoom out, this ended up being the right move. So I'm selling right here. You're going to see it's going higher than this, but I'm selling actually right here. I'm not going to get greedy and think that this is going to just make this massive move up. Tricky thing is, I usually see this hit VWAP, and then it will reject back down to the downside. But this was strange to me. it hit here, and so why was this resistance? So I actually looked into this. On my RSI at that time, I noticed that Facebook hit resistance there, and it actually hit the high of the day from Friday. And that was about the only thing that was really bullish at this time. And so Facebook hit the high of the day exactly right here, and it started rejecting that. And so that's why this move started breaking back down. But the fantastic thing about this right here is this move for the Nasdaq, that actually went from 30 cents. You could have gotten a decent average in there, 30 cents, and the very high of the day right there went at $1.04. And so that is a 215% move in your day. And so we're looking at not a huge move for Nasdaq on the day. However, there was a 500% move. Even if you make half of that, isn't that awesome? Here's a 215% move. Even if you make half of that, that's incredible. There was a move to be made after this. This did break down, but I do just want to show 2 trades in a day that move over 100%.